All right, everyone, we are changing it up a little bit. We'll have Coach Oats starting, and then we'll have players following. So at this time, I'll have Coach Oats make an opening statement, and we'll go ahead and take some questions. Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big game. It's, they're second place in the league right behind us. It's the only time we play them. So if any tiebreakers would come up, whoever wins this game would have it. So our guys need to be locked in. We didn't play well there last year. They've had some big wins. They're talented. They're deep. They're physical. We got to get back to playing better on the offensive end. They're a good team on both sides of the ball. I mean, they're not heavily balanced one way or the other. It's not like they're great on offense and bad on D or vice versa. They're really good on both sides of the ball. So we've got to come with our offense and our defense both. And our defense has been pretty good lately. We're going to be tested with Tillman. He's probably the most athletic, big, size-wise center we face in the SEC. I mean, he's good, too. He's added passing to his game. And, when you add Penson, I mean, he scores at a really high level, kind of initiates their offense. They've got all the pieces: point guard, center, wing, shooting. Drew Smith's tough as nails. So I really like the makeup of their team. I think Coach Martin gets them to play super hard. I think they're playing together. I mean, they're a good team. It's going to be a good test for us.
Thank you, Coach. As a reminder, if you have a question, use the raise hand function, and we'll get to you. We'll start with Charlie Potter.
Yeah, hey, Coach, you talked about how this is a big game. Just how much do you talk about the significance of this to the players, even though you kind of take the one game at a time approach?
Yeah, I mean, we told them that this is the only time we play these guys. They're second place, and this is big. I mean, if a win Saturday would go a long ways in the the league championship race. So they know. I mean, it really shouldn't matter, to be honest with you, but sometimes with 18 to 22-year-old kids, it doesn't hurt to remind them of the significance of some games. I mean, you should be playing with max effort, as focused as you can possibly be every game out, but we kind of reminded them.
Let's go to William Galloway next.
Coach, you came to Alabama just about 2 years ago, and John Petty has developed incredibly since then. Where would you say he's grown the most, and how has he changed in the 2 years that you've been with him as a player?
I think he's grown the most in his approach to the game. I mean, if you're interested in skill-wise stuff, he's a playmaker. Shoot, he was playing the point today in practice. He makes great reads. I mean, he's getting assists. He's also playing both sides of the ball now. He's a great defender. But all that stuff aside, I think the biggest change he's made in just his overall approach to the game, his focus, his work. He stays after practice and shoots. He comes back in at night and shoots. He's locked in. I mean, he's always had a high IQ, but like I tell the guys before, I mean, smart guy that never shows up to class and never studies for a test still fails the class. If you got a high IQ and you don't put time in, you're not going to know what you're supposed to be doing. Well, now he's always had the high IQ, and now he's putting all the time in. He's studying. He's looking at film. He's talking to me before practices about what the other team's doing. I think he approaches the game like a professional now, and before he was just playing because he was a good basketball player.
Let's go to Cecil Hurt next.
Coach, the last two games at home, which are 2 wins, obviously, they've shot close to 50% from three, and it's not just Penson, it's not just one guy. How do you defend that with what they have on the back line as well?
Yeah, you can't afford to double Tillman and give up their guards open shots. I mean, they're a good shooting team. They've got both going, post-up play, guard play, shooting. So we don't want to play Tillman one-on-one all night either, especially, without Bruner. We've got Reese. After Reese, we get a lot smaller. Ambrose, our next tallest guy, and he's fairly thin. So we've got to have a package where we can give appropriate help when needed and still arrive to shooters on time. It's going to take us being really locked in. It's going to take guys being really alert, really knowing, the game plan. So they're going to put a lot of pressure on us. Now we can't if we let them shoot 50% from three on a high volume, we're losing the game. So we talk more about eliminating attempts from three. We just don't want them getting that many threes off. So you've got to be able to do that and not get beat on blow-bys, because Penson's, I mean, he's slither. He gets in the lane a lot. So, he's playing well. Smith, they got three Smiths. Drew Smith in the starting lineup. Mark Smith, they've now moved off the bench, and he's giving them great scoring coming off the bench. I'm assuming that's, I don't know why exactly they do what they do, but, to me it gives them a lot of scoring off the bench. I don't know if that was what happened there or not, but they're shooting the ball well, and we're going to have to guard them a lot better than maybe what some teams before have guarded them, and, it's not going to be easy.
Tony Tsoukalas?
Nate, your guys are projected to be a number 1 seed for like the first time in program history, I think. Is that something that you guys use as motivation to kind of keep on playing hard? Or you try to guard against that to avoid complacency? How do you approach those projections?
And I didn't see that. Who's got us as a 1 seed?
Lenardi in his bracketology.
What's the highest seed they've had in Alabama before?
I think 2.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Look, I'll say this: if we do what we're supposed to, and they've got us at a 1 seed now, and the tournament committee decides to give us a 1 seed, that'd be great. I mean, those teams tend to make deep runs. So I think looking at what seed we're going to get in the middle of March, in the beginning of February is probably not that wise. But I do think that it shows our guys that what we're doing, what they're doing, the work they put in is paying off. If they're projecting it to be that now, we just got to take care of it. I mean, this stuff can all go out the window in a hurry with a couple losses. So if we just take care of one game at a time and keep doing what we've been doing, especially on the defensive end, that was the big thing I told our guys today. Like, if as poorly as our offense has been here lately, and it's been bad, our defense is keeping us in every game. I mean, we won 3 out of the last 4 games and have not played great on offense in any of the 4. But we've won 3 out of the last 4 and had a chance to win the 4th one if we made a couple layups. So, and it's really because our defense has been where it needs to be. Now we got to get our offense back flowing. So, again, being a 1 seed, that would be outstanding, like unbelievable. Don't think anybody would have predicted that. To dwell on that today is probably distracting what we need. Today we need to work on what we need to do to beat Missouri. On Sunday, we'll work on what we need to do to beat, or what we need to do to beat South Carolina. So we're just taking one at a time. Where we should be seated is where we will be seated come middle of March, and hopefully we keep playing well. If every game we get a little bit better, we'll be where we need to be come the middle of March.
Okay, we got 2 more questions in the queue. We'll finish with those 2. Let's start with Charlie Potter.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Bruner a minute ago. Just what's the latest with him and his recovery?
He's still a couple weeks out. We had Dr. Kane in for the game on Wednesday, and, he looked him over. He's doing well, but probably 2.5, somewhere in there, maybe 2 weekends from now, or maybe the following week, somewhere in there is what they're trying to project. Now he's still trying to get some rehab and trying to turn the rehab up a little bit, just get him a little stronger. But yeah, we're gonna have to play the next probably 4 games without him. So stinks for him, to be honest with you. I mean, our team seems to be doing all right. Obviously, it'd be a big boost when we get him back, but for him to come here as grad transfer year and be playing as well as he was playing, and the team to be doing as well as we were when he was flowing, just disappointing for him. I feel bad for him, but he's working hard on the rehab. He's a great kid. He's adding, pointers and tips and whatever when we're watching film. So you can tell he's still engaged with what's going on with the team.
Okay, last question. We'll end with Bob Carlton.
Hey, Coach. I have a quick non-basketball question for you, if you don't mind. I'm doing a story on the snapper throats at the Bright Star restaurant, and Andreas tells me you've become a big fan. Can you tell me a little bit how you got introduced to him and how often you go there?
Man, we'll have to take one more basketball question after this, huh, Aaron? the snapper throats are my favorite. No, I forget why. Oh, you know what? One of Andreas's uncles was one of the first things I spoke at here, and I can't remember which one it was. His phone went off in the middle of the thing. In me speaking, he felt all embarrassed. He invited me up there. They had good food, and I met Andreas, and I think Andreas was the one that turned me on to the snapper throats. But if you haven't been to the Bright Star and had their snapper throats, you gotta go, because they're unbelievable. I love them. And I said I was down fishing in the Gulf, and I said something to one of the guys that was on the fishing boat, I don't know if it was the captain or the deckhand, about snapper throats, because, catch a bunch of snappers down the Gulf. And he said, what do you know about snapper throats? I think they thought that was like a fisherman's secret, that the throats were the best meat. But dude, I love them. So have you had them? Have you ate them? Oh, Aaron doesn't want.
Yeah,
Aaron only wants me to. He doesn't want me to have interaction with you guys. He doesn't. He just puts you on mute as soon as your question's done. He's not big on the interaction deal, I guess.
You should be unmuted, Bob.
Yeah, I was going to say I've had the fried and the broiled. He tells me you like the broiled Greek.
Well, I
style,
try to
right?
stay a little healthier. Look, when I first
Right.
moved here 2 years ago, I was pretty healthy. It took me about 3 months, and all of a sudden I'd put on 20 pounds. It was like all the fried food, all the dessert, everything they have in the South. So I got that 20 off. I try to stay more with the broiled and baked rather than the fried down here now. But yeah, the broiled snapper throats, that's maybe one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite meals in Alabama. First time I had it was here. So we got a basketball
Do we have
question to
any
close
other
it up or
basketball
not?
questions, guys? Anything else? All right, thank
All
you.
right,
We'll be
roll
joined with
tide.
Juwan Gary and John Petty Jr. here shortly.